Hi guys, welcome to the Web Resources episode. It's been exactly 3 months I released a video on the Web Resources series, and I would like to apologize to all subscribers who have been waiting for the continuation of the episode. I don't want to make any excuse, but that's why I'm here for this episode. So far we've looked at the Web Resources, the theory. We've looked at our problem at hand, and now we are going to solve the problem. Please, if this is your first time watching the Web Resources series, or you've been lost for the past 3 months, kindly visit the links that I'll share below to watch the part 1 and the part 2 before watching the solution video. Our take home from this Web Resources episode is some cues that I have highlighted here that we should pay attention to, which is web services, RESTful, URIs, data, and operations. So these are some of the keywords that you should have in your mind, or you should have understood by the time we are done with this video. Okay, let's just get straight into the video. So now we looked at our problem, and then we said that our problem, we're looking at a solution whereby we have to send results or report cards to benefactors or parents or guardians of a particular or an individual student. Then we should try as much as possible to provide a solution that will help parents have direct access to their student reports or results card. And we looked at the pros and cons of why we should have a direct access to the parents than the child being the delivery service. So we thought about it, and we said that the solution is going to be a software solution, and it's a technology solution, and the solution is using the web to solve that problem. Someone will ask why the web. You can definitely check out the reason in the Web Resources theory as to the benefits of the web and why the web is a beautiful vehicle to send the results to the parents. So before that, there are some keywords that I want us to understand with the web migrating. As we are migrating to the web, there are some keywords I want us to understand or appreciate that before we look at the solution that has been rendered in part. So first of all is URI. And remember, we said URI is Uniform Resource Identifier, and these are a sequence of characters that identifies a logical or physical resource that's being used by web technology. So a URI is a sequence of characters, and those sequence of characters it will identify a logical or physical resource. So if you take a street, if you take someone's house location, or maybe I live at Beverly Hills. Living at Beverly Hills, there's a URI that helps you to identify your physical location that you are at Beverly Hills, so that once we go to that address, we know that this is Dr. Thompson's residence at Beverly Hills. So there's a concept of URI. We'll look into the explanation. We'll look at the example in the solution. We also have web application. We made mention of web application. We say a web application is a dynamic extension of a web or application server. So we are going to build a web application, or a web application is going to help us solve this problem. It's an application, and then a web application is just a dynamic extension of the web or application server. And this is a quote from the Java EE 4th edition book. And then the web application comes in two forms. We have the presentation-oriented web applications, and we also have the service-oriented web application. Presentation-oriented web applications, they act in response to requests, and they will generate interactive web pages and dynamic content. So that's the normal applications you always, or not the normal, but the frequent ones we see as end users, and that's something like Facebook, YouTube. Those are presentation-oriented applications. Service-oriented applications are mostly APIs or web services. Those are the implement endpoint of a web service. These are, just put all this in your mind. These are I'll say we are now, if we were to be in the kitchen, I'll say that we are now picking up the tools that we are going to use to build or prepare some form of dish for our customers in our restaurant. So these are some of the tools we are saying URI, web applications, and we mentioned service and presentation oriented type of applications and service oriented type of applications. And then we also have JAX racks. JAX racks, if I'm pronouncing it right. But what JAX racks simply means is just it provides a functionality for REST. I know I haven't yet made mention of REST, but JAX racks is a Java API for building RESTful services. Just put that in your mind. And then now someone asked me, what are web services? So web services are client-server applications that help you to communicate over the web via HTTP. So web services are client-server applications that you use to communicate over the web over HTTP. I know there are a lot of terms, but let me just drill them in. And HTTP is a protocol that is being used over the web. When you say a protocol, there are rules that governs the use of HTTP. So yeah, that's why it's a protocol. The next one is endpoints. When you talk about an endpoint basically simply means that you have a software component that you want to, a software component that performs or handles as a form of logic or some form of processing inside that software component. When you're exposing an endpoint, you are making that logic available to external services or end users. What do I mean? If you have a method or you have a recipe that you use to prepare jollof rice, and then that jollof rice is in-house, it's only to you, it's kept between you and your family, or you and your residents. That's your trademark. But once you expose it to everybody via an endpoint, that's why we need endpoint to expose whatever that is hidden or internal to certain people or certain environments to other end users, so that they can also enjoy what you are preparing. So that's just the basic definition of an endpoint. And we have Jessie. Jessie is a framework just for you to build Java RESTful services, or to build RESTful services. And then now when we come to web services, they mostly come in two forms. Either it's REST or SOAP architecture. And then there's a reason. REST is more of data and operations, and SOAP is an envelope form of, SOAP is a process. So with SOAP you are looking at a process, and there's more to that, but this is not where I'm going to do all the explanation. But we just need to know that we have SOAP and we have REST, and yeah, and then also all these terms are coming from the World Wide Web Consortium. They are the ones steering the affairs of things. So we are going to migrate to the web, and then I know I've said so much, but all these will definitely play a role in understanding the solution we built. So now we'll be doing the delivery of the results via SMS. So SMS is going to be our that will be the end user's form of view. In other words, that's the view that we'll send to the end user to click on the web resource or the web services to generate the report, or to get the student's report card. As you can see, it has already been done. I've already built this solution already, but I'm just trying to give you the technical explanation of things. And then the reason why we're using SMS is that SMS is easily accessible on your phone. In other words, when you talk about mails, hardly do people have email address. But when you talk about SMS, anybody can be sent with an SMS as long as they have a phone number. So even if your parents just don't have a smartphone and they have only a YAM or a normal a non-Android or a phone that is not smart, it's going to be your parents will still be able to access your report or results card. So that's it about SMS. So now let's go straight into the solution. So we are going to have a live demo, and in this live demo we are going to look at the results report card web services that has been deployed live on Heroku. Then we look at the SMS distribution gateway hook API that's running locally on Apache Tomcat Web Server. We look at the dry gen console app that fires the SMS to all benefactors, and look at their direct access view of results report card on benefactors phone, be it Android or iOS. So this is the solution video. The solution has already been built. We've built the solution already, but we want us to look at a live demonstration of how it works. So let's go straight to our video. So we'll start with the results report card web services that has been deployed live on Heroku. Let's confirm that the service is live. After we've confirmed that the service is live, we will confirm, we'll run some logs, and we'll use Postman to do some one or two things. You just hang around. Then we also look at the SMS distribution gateway-hook API, and then look at the console app, and then look at the direct access view on the report card. So it's quite loaded, but there are services, so we have to take our time and have this demonstration. So please, let's just get straight. So I'll walk out of the presentation